Welcome back, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Just one favor to ask you. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. Please share. Please subscribe. And I welcome your comments because I do try to reply to such comments. We're here to talk about the Tokyo World Championships. And the 100-meter heats are done for both women and men. And the semifinals are set. But this was mainly the normal routine runs, except in one case, in the men's heat for the 100 meters, the first heat, Oblique Seville almost got left in the blocks. Well, he was left in the blocks, but he got out eventually and sort of redeemed himself. Kishane Thompson looked like a champion in waiting. Now Lyles remind everyone that he's the man America trusts, and he's the man who believes this is his title. On the women's side, Julien Alfred roared to the front and stayed there. Melissa Jefferson started off slow, but looked untroubled throughout the race. Shericka Jackson looked a little bit of her old self. Remember, Shericka and Shelly-Ann were both injured for the Olympics. Ran well, got nipped at the line by Sha'Carri Richardson, who started off real sluggish. And as you know, she had great top-end speed. But Shericka looked comfortable, even though she came second. Leighton looked well also. On her heat. Very, very comfortable. At ease. And then we had the two veterans. Ones who've been doing it for a long while. Talu Smith and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. They both cruised. Talu won the heat. Shelly-Ann came second. And this is expected to be Shelly's last World Championship. So she kept her dream alive. So the quarterfinalists are out. And they tell a fascinating story. Let's dive in. Here is the list of the qualifiers for both the men and women's 100 meters. There were, for each race, the top three. So that were 7 races. There's 7, 3, 21. And then you had the 3 fastest qualifiers. So 24 qualify for the semifinals. And there'd be 3 races, top 2, and then top 2 qualifying times. Our fastest qualifying times, I should say. And then for the men, similar construct. So here's the list for the women. And here's the list for the men. Semifinals. And that's where the fireworks will start. Now let's take a step back and look at the women's heat. We have some legends and we have some new blood. Julien Alfred, Olympic 100-meter champion, led all qualifiers with 10.93. Calm, powerful, chiseled, technically brilliant. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, been dynamic all year. Regular in the 10.7, 10.6. Look very, very comfortable. Ran 10.99 in the heats. And sub 11 for her, being so comfortable suggests she's ready. Sha'Carri Richardson, controlled and disciplined, but start was a little bit sluggish. And in a race like this, with individuals such as Alfred and Jefferson-Wooden, you have to be on your what we call P's and Q's. You have to be there. You have to be there from the start to the end. And the race will be over in no time and you'll be left behind. Shericka Jackson and Leighton. Jackson 11.04, Leighton 11.03. Both look solid, both look good, ensuring Jamaica's presence is strong. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the warrior, been there, done it, perennial champion, the epitome of grace. At 37 years old, she ran 11.09. Didn't start as well as one would expect. Give her a blazing start. I think Talu probably had a better start. But she may be pacing herself for the rounds. Because every round that she now runs and every race she runs, he's like part of that farewell tour. Maria Talu, Smith and Dean Asher Smith, two veterans. Talou Smith 11.05, Asher Smith 11.07. Asher Smith came second in Tina Clayton race. Talou won her race with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Experience counts, and I'm sure they're managing themselves well to make sure they can last through the rounds and be at their best at the end. Now on the men's side, in the first race, Oblique Seville, who has been picked by many experts, Leighton Levy, who I had an interview with, who believes that if he's on his game, he'll win, he'll be the fastest Jamaican. And it's not only Leighton who has picked him. I think Boldon says, don't be shocked or it's not out of this world for Oblique to win, given how technical he is and how well he's been running, and he's been in brilliant form. His reaction time was 0.286, by far the slowest in his heat. And frankly, if it may have been another heat, he may not, even though his heat was the fastest of the day, he may not have made it to the semifinal. Now, on time, the times were, he did. But we don't know what the pressure would have been like for him. He's in a race where he's running fourth or so and then decide that, you know what, it's not worth it. But he recovered. For the first 40, it looked like a disaster. He was way in the back. But he has that top end speed, and he's very, very technical. And it carried him back from being last or second to last. It was from last to third in 9.93. Not a bad time, given all the times that were ran. But when you're in a race where you expect to just cruise, be first or second, you don't want to overexert yourself, it wasn't a good look. Some fans are worried. Seville has placed fourth at 2 World Championships, 22 and 23, and last at the Olympics in 8th place in 24. And some already start calling him Asafa Seville, echoing the view that Asafa Powell didn't deliver in the big championships and that he's similar. So, Seville, his pressure is massive. It's huge. And hopefully, he can settle down. He can come through the rounds. And we want him to be at his best, because at his best, he's hard to beat. Kishane Thompson, the usual smooth start, 0.154. Sort of compare that to Seville, 0.286. But 154 is reaction time. Instantly in rhythm. 1 in 9.95. Visibly shut it down from about 60, conserving energy. No pressure. Got out as he normally is. Powerful, dynamic, well situated throughout the race. Mechanics, high knees, relaxed shoulders. Screams efficiency. And he looks like Jamaica's new sprint anchor, new sprint king. But I'm sure Seville will have something to say about that. Especially now he may have gotten over some of the challenges that he's had in the first round. Noah Lyles and Akeem Blake ran the same race. Lyles 9.95. Looked controlled and efficient. Had a good start. And normally, Lyles struggles with his start. Had a very good start. And stayed there with Blake. And then just eased by Blake. And won his race pretty easily. Blake was 10.07. Stayed stride for stride early with Noah, which showed the depth in Jamaica's sprinting. But this wasn't just qualifying, this was a statement. The US versus Jamaica clash, it's brewing and it's coming. And if they all make it through the final, it's going to be a humdinger. So what does the qualifying list tell us? Because you see this list of all the qualifiers. Women 100 meters qualifiers. There's a balance. Jamaica, all 3 ladies have made it. Clayton, Jackson, Fraser-Pryce. Versus the US, Jefferson-Wooden, Richardson, and Terry, who also made it from her round. Now, if you look at the women, Fraser-Pryce, the veteran, Talou, the veteran, Shericka Jackson, someplace in that middle, versus the new queens coming through. Jefferson, Alfred, who's been there, won an Olympics medal. And don't forget Tina Clayton. Brilliant as a junior, sprinter, won under 20, 100 and 200. Now trying to make her mark on the senior level. And then you have runners coming through like Lewis from Australia, Hobbs from New Zealand. Dosso, 11.1, who surprised quite a bit in her race from Italy. They want to have something to say about it. In the men's qualifiers, there's a lot of depth. All 24 runners under 10.22 seconds. Which says a lot. All 24 of them. 21 automatic qualifiers plus the 3 fastest time. And in fact, to be honest, in the Seville race, we should indicate that was the fastest of all the heats, and that was the first heat. One thing we've noticed is that Africa is rising. Gif Loetella, 9.87, and Africans rising, and it's mainly South Africans actually. And then we had Kayensola Ajayi, 9.88, personal best. He ran well. He's not from South Africa. But the South African, Gif Loetella, ran really well in the Seville race. Won easily 9.87 and looked really good. And then we had Ajayi, who also ran well. For Jamaica, obviously we have Seville, 9.93, Thompson, 9.95, and Akeem Blake, 10.07. But Seville had to work for his 9.93, given his slow start. So will that have an effect on him in the semis? It's not until tomorrow, so we'll see. USA, Lyles, 9.95. Bednarek looked really good, 10.01. Relaxed through his entire race, was looking around at 40, almost like he's on the beach strolling. We had Lindsay at 10.19. And then we had Darnell Hughes and Romeo Glave were also there. So it's a loaded field, as you can see from the list. It's a loaded field that are in for the semifinals tomorrow. Now, what are the themes and context they sort of think about where we're going in the semis and the final? What do we learn from today? Seville versus Powell Shadow. Is he cursed? How can he overcome all the doubters and the doubt he may have himself and deliver his best? Thompson's calm dominance. Is he Jamaica's next ace? He sure looks like it. But he will have to clean up the end of his race, as we saw in the Olympics where he struggled at the end, if he wants to win the title. And also the world's fastest man, which he is for this year. He ran 9.75. No one has done 9.75 or 9.76. So he's been the fastest man for this year, but if he wants to be the champion, he's got to clean up the end of his race because he will have some pressure. Another theme is the USA versus Jamaica. It's a balanced duel in men's and women's fields. I think in the women, US have an edge in Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. She's been brilliant all year, running below 10.7, 10.6, 10.7s. But I think Tina Clayton and Shericka Jackson may have something to say about it. And even the veteran Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And also, can't forget Julien Alfred, the St. Lucian, who looks like she's ready. In terms of sprinting, it's much more globalized. At one point, it was just strictly Jamaica, USA. Once in a while, you have a Jacobs from Italy come through and win. But they've been the two dominant countries. But we're seeing a lot of sprinters come out of Africa, as we see in the heats today. And we probably see more of them as they spend more resources and time focused on the sprints. And then Shelly's legacy. Semifinal 37 just adds to her legend. She's the queen, she's class, and she continues to exhibit that. And I saw the hug that she had with Talou, both veterans, and really supportive of each other. Now, here are my closing points as we have come to the end of day one for the sprinting, the World Championship. The semifinals are going to be explosive. I think we're going to have some upsets. I don't think we're going to have some surprises. Can Seville steady his nerves and justify the fate of Boldon, of Levy, of Bolt, who predicted Jamaica 1-2? Didn't say whether Thompson or Seville would win, but he think the sprinting has come back to Jamaica is going to be 1-2. Can he actually justify the fate of these experts who believe, given how technical he is, that he can win? Will Thompson and Lyles march forward towards a blockbuster final? I expect them to. Can Alfred, Richardson, Jackson, Melissa, Shelly-Ann, which one of these are going to be on that podium. The heats have set the stage where all the favorites have come through, both on the men's and women's side. And now, it's fireworks for Tokyo. Fireworks. And I can't wait. See you tomorrow for the semifinals. It should be brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for being here. If you haven't done so, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.